Have you ever seen a room full of experts give up, only for the person everyone ignored to solve the impossible? Imagine 20 of the world's best engineers standing around a $1 million Bugatti, shaking their heads after hours of failed attempts. The CEO was furious. Every minute meant lost time, lost pride, and growing embarrassment. Then, a tired single dad wearing worn work boots quietly stepped forward and said, "May I take a look?" Everyone laughed. 5 minutes later, the entire room fell silent. What happened next wasn't just about fixing a car. It became a lesson about kindness, respect, and never judging someone's worth by their clothes, job title, or bank account. Stay with me until the end, because this story proves that one act of kindness can change many lives forever. Before we begin, if you enjoy heartwarming stories that restore your faith in humanity, don't forget to subscribe to Echoes of Stories, like this video, and leave a comment telling us where you're watching from. Your support helps us share more inspiring stories with people around the world. Michael Carter had spent the last 6 years raising his 8-year-old daughter, Lily, alone. After losing his wife to cancer, every day became a careful balance between work, parenting, and keeping hope alive. During the day, he repaired old cars at a small neighborhood garage in Ohio. At night, he helped Lily with homework, cooked simple dinners, and read bedtime stories before falling asleep from exhaustion. Money was always tight, but Michael never complained. He believed that kindness was something no one could take away, no matter how difficult life became. One Saturday morning, the owner of the garage asked Michael to deliver a special set of custom tools to a luxury automotive exhibition in downtown Chicago. The tools had been ordered by one of the vendors displaying exotic cars. Michael borrowed the garage's old pickup truck and drove 3 hours to the event. As he walked inside carrying the toolbox, he couldn't help admiring the incredible cars surrounding him. Ferraris, Lamborghinis, McLarens, and right in the center stood a stunning blue Bugatti worth millions of dollars. But something was wrong. Around the Bugatti stood nearly 20 engineers wearing expensive uniforms. Laptops were connected to the engine. Diagnostic screens flashed with error messages. Everyone looked frustrated. Nearby, the company's CEO, Victoria Reynolds, paced back and forth. "This launch is in 2 hours, she said nervously. "How can nobody fix it?" One engineer sighed. "We've checked everything. The software looks normal. The engine should start, but it doesn't." Michael quietly placed the toolbox on a nearby table. As he prepared to leave, he glanced at the Bugatti one more time. Something caught his attention. The chief engineer noticed Michael staring. "What are you looking at?" he asked with a sarcastic smile. Michael hesitated. I think I noticed something." The room burst into laughter. One engineer crossed his arms. "You repair old pickup trucks, don't you? This isn't your neighborhood garage." Michael smiled politely. "You're probably right. I was just wondering if I could take a closer look." Another engineer rolled his eyes. "This car costs more than you'll earn in your lifetime." Victoria overheard the conversation. Instead of joining the laughter, she looked at Michael. "What exactly do you think you saw?" Michael answered honestly. "I could be completely wrong. But sometimes the smallest problems hide behind the biggest technology." The room became quiet. Victoria took a deep breath. "Let him try." Several engineers protested. "This is ridiculous. If he damages anything." Victoria interrupted them. "You've all had 6 hours." Michael slowly approached the Bugatti. He didn't open a laptop. He didn't connect expensive equipment. Instead, he knelt beside the engine, closed his eyes for a moment, and simply listened. Years of repairing worn-out family cars had taught him something many people overlooked. Machines often tell their own stories. He gently touched one small connector hidden beneath another component. Then he smiled. May I borrow a small wrench? Someone handed it to him almost as a joke. Michael loosened one bolt, adjusted a hidden grounding cable that had slipped slightly out of place during transport, tightened it again, and nodded. You can start it now. The engineers exchanged amused looks. One reached for the ignition. The engine roared to life instantly. The entire showroom froze. Nobody spoke. The beautiful Bugatti purred perfectly. One engineer checked the diagnostics again. Every error had disappeared. Another whispered, "That's impossible." Michael simply shrugged. It wasn't the software. It was a loose ground connection causing false electrical readings. The chief engineer stared at him in disbelief. "We never even checked that." Michael smiled gently. Sometimes experience teaches you where computers don't look. Victoria walked toward him slowly. Her eyes filled with tears. "Everyone laughed at you." Michael nodded. "I'm used to it. Doesn't it bother you?" He smiled softly. "My daughter reminds me every day that being kind is more important than being right." Those words hit everyone harder than the repaired engine. The engineers looked down in embarrassment. One by one, several apologized. "We judged you. We're sorry." Michael shook each hand. "No hard feelings. We all make mistakes." Victoria asked him to stay after the event. That afternoon, she learned about his life, his daughter, and the small garage where he worked. She also learned that despite struggling financially, Michael often repaired cars for elderly neighbors without charging them. He quietly paid for school supplies for children whose parents couldn't afford them. He never told anyone. Kindness was simply who he was. A week later, Victoria visited Michael's garage without telling him. She watched as he helped a stranded mother replace a flat tire for free. Then she saw him give an elderly veteran a discount because the man was living on a fixed income. Michael never expected anything in return. That evening, Victoria made a life-changing decision. She offered Michael the position of senior mechanical consultant for her automotive company. The salary was more than he had ever imagined. But that wasn't all. The company also created a scholarship in Michael's late wife's name to help children who dreamed of becoming engineers but couldn't afford college. Michael accepted the job with one condition. "I still want one day every month to volunteer at my old garage." Victoria smiled. "That's exactly why we want you." Months later, Michael stood in front of a room filled with young engineering students. Instead of teaching them about engines first, he shared a different lesson. The most powerful tool you'll ever use isn't a wrench or a computer. It's kindness. Because when you respect people, you'll never miss the wisdom they carry. The students applauded. Some even wiped away tears. Years later, many of those students would say that speech changed the way they treated coworkers, customers, and complete strangers. And it all started because one CEO chose to give a quiet single father 5 minutes instead of another excuse. Sometimes the smartest person in the room isn't wearing the nicest suit. Sometimes the greatest expert doesn't have the fanciest degree. And sometimes the biggest miracle begins with someone simply saying, "Let him try." If this story touched your heart, remember this simple truth. Kindness costs nothing, but it can open doors that talent alone never will. The next time you meet someone, don't judge them by their appearance, their job, or their circumstances. Every person has a story. Every person has value. And every act of kindness has the power to change a life. Until next time, keep believing in people, keep choosing compassion, and keep spreading kindness wherever you go.